Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 5 of Listings and Lullabies, A Girl Dad's Journey with your host, Varun Varma, and my name is Vikas and episode 5.
Episode
we made
5.
It.
Yeah, wow.
We got one hand in. Now we got like 45 more hands to go in, right?
Yeah.
I know we said, we said, man, if we make it to episode 5, then we'll start looking at the stats.
Yeah.
We'll start to see now what we can kind of show off as far as what we've been able to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've got some plans to bring in sponsors and more guests and stuff. So let's see what happens. So
yeah, the bills are adding up, man.
Yep, they are adding up.
The space ain't free. This equipment ain't free. No.
If you want to rent this equipment, let us know. We can help you with your podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No, man, first of all, dude, getting to 5, that's the first milestone.
Yeah.
Right? Well, 1 is the first milestone, then 5, now 10, then 15, and so forth. But so I wanted to congratulate you for being disciplined to make this happen. He's a busy man. Y'all remember from episode 4, everyone's texting him about real estate. They're calling him. He's got a baby girl that he's got to worry about. So he's busy, but he takes time out for this. So first of all, kudos to you, man. I really appreciate that.
No, and props to you as well. I mean, you stay on me to get it going and get things scheduled. And these past couple weeks have been busy, thankfully, of course, always a blessing to stay busy and in a different market than what we've seen in the last couple of years. But yeah, things are just moving along, shaking and baking, and just happy about how things are just progressing, man. It's a good life. It's a good life, and fortunate and blessed to have everyone around me that's given me the opportunity to have a blessed life. So
yeah man. Yeah. And this is, see here, now we're going to go a little bit behind the scenes. So we were supposed to start recording today at 9:30 a.m. I'm all set up, ready to go. This guy shows up at 10 o'clock. But this is life, right? Because tell us what happened
so
today.
we got an email late last night from daycare stating that a couple of the children, babies, had come down with just vomiting and diarrhea and things like that. So then, this was the first for us. So we're just like, shoot, do we, what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do? Does that mean that, okay, those children are not coming anymore, so we're safe now? Do we not go? And thankfully we have a good support of friends and things around us that go to the same daycare. So we're texting them what they thought and got some good advice. And then this morning we woke up and we're still discussing and thinking about it. Obviously that then changes the game.
Right.
How do we operate, right? Like everybody out there, our days still go on regardless of if daycare is or childcare is in place or not. We still have to show up for work. We still have responsibilities and obligations, things like that. So that started going into effect. Yeah, so we're figuring out Bavisha's work schedule, and obviously I'm getting a little attitude from her because but she knows that today I'm fortunate enough to have more of a free day, kind of blocked our schedule off. So that's why I'm in Reds gear today, because today's our office day at the Reds game. So we're going to Reds game today.
Yeah, Red Legs.
And then it's Bengals draft party. So we're going to Paycor Stadium for the draft party.
Oh.
So I've got my Bengals Chase jersey in the car, ready to swap it out. So it is a fun-filled sports day. So I'm like,
the attitude from Bavisha is legit.
Yeah,
right?
she's like, okay, you clown, like you don't have any appointments. So like, what are we doing here? But she's amazing. She was like, you know what? I'll just take her to Westchester. I've got to do a couple things, and she was just craving some home cooked meal because she's been traveling a lot for work now. So that's been an adjustment too, where it's I always joke with people, single dad duty, but it's not that hard. I mean, Bavisha goes through single mom duty a lot more than
today. Today it sounds like.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So we were just adapting that and figuring it out. So then we decided she's just going to go to her mom's, work from there, and Ziana will get to hang out with her grandmother and stuff.
Awesome.
Which is funny because Bavisha's mom would always come down to as that was our childcare provider or whatever, But since daycare started, she doesn't get to see her as much and things like that. So it's a win-win for everyone.
So it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, exactly.
So at first I was pretty upset with Varun. Like, yo, man, I got a busy life too.
Yeah, and when you can tell when Vikas is upset with short responses and the types of texts come in, and I'm like, oh, good.
But then when he told me that it was about Ziana, I was like, oh, she's just so cute that you got to give everyone grace. You gotta understand we don't know what everyone's going through. And once you told me, I was like, oh, okay, it's all good. It's all good. But I know we jumped a little ahead. Started talking about daycare and all that. Yeah. But so for those of you that don't know, we joke around about Ziana's birthday. it's easy to remember because we're from Cincinnati, and she's born on May 3rd, which is 5-3, which is the name of a bank around here called Fifth Third. Yeah. So we always just call her Fifth Third, as well. Yeah. So tell year one, man, like.
Yeah, and her first birthday is on May 4th, which is
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So she's going to be she's either going to bank at Fifth Third or work for Fifth Third or be a huge Star Wars fan,
or all of the above.
Or all of the above, for sure.
No, so man, 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
It's a big milestone. I could imagine the kind of emotions you're going through. So tell us, man, reflect for us. Reflect for all the parents out there.
Yeah, it is, man, there is nothing to prepare you for the first year of parenting. There's no books, there's no advice, there's no other experiences. You just have to figure it out for yourself. You have to be on the same page with your spouse, and there will be times that as much as you try to be on the same page, it's just not going to be on the same page, right? You have your own different thoughts, your own different experiences. You have your other distractions, whether that's work, whether that's life, whether that's, everything is a focus. And trying to be on the same page should be the number one goal, so you collectively can make the right decisions, be present,
right,
and make the other one feel that you also are having the same thoughts and concerns and feelings and focus as to what Ziana's going to eat that day. How many diapers does she have? What's her nap schedule? What's her this and things like that? And there are times that I don't think about that. And I don't think as deep as what Bhavisha does. And she does remind me of that, and it's like, damn, so you reflect, like, am I not doing enough? Where you feel that what you are doing in that day, whether you are negotiating a contract or showing a house or whatnot, you think you are providing for the family, but we're maybe not thinking enough for the family, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of reflection there of, am I doing enough? And Bhavisha does a great job of encouraging.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Asserting that, I am doing enough, things like that. But we can always do better and do more, right? It's our first year. There is no training. There is no class that will get you through this time and this emotion of, is daycare right? Or is this the time to go out with friends and maybe leave her and focus on us and our relationship while we're still focusing on Ziana at home? Is she okay? Things like that. So there's just so many points out there that, yes, we are fortunate. We've gone on trips. We just got to go to a vacation to Punta Cana with some friends, which was amazing and things like that. It was a little bit of break. Ziana had a great time, but I was still kind of working. Okay. It was still different of how Ziana reacting and things like that. So it's just a lot to manage and things like that. And I think being on the same page and being a good team with your spouse is the best course of action. And if you can do that, if you can communicate, and I'm not saying we do that well. There's times, there's frustrations and things like that, but I know that is, I think, the nucleus, the base of where everything then spiderwebs off into a good day, a good relationship, a good focus on us. And, we haven't had a date night in a while. We've gone out together. We've been us three and things like that. But Bhavisha and I haven't had a chance to go on a date night in a few weeks.
Go on a date night.
Yeah, and things like that, right? Because she's been traveling for work, which is great. She's working on her career path and her development and things like that, just as am I, right? I want to blow up and have my goals in real estate and things like that, but so does she. But she's a fucking badass where she is traveling for work. She, as a mom, is, and
that's a lot.
The mom's mindset and emotional mindset and mentality is just crazy, right? Because you're thinking about work, you're thinking about the priorities there. She's corporate, right? So anyone out there is corporate, you have a lot of deadlines, a lot of restrictions, and they don't give a flying fuck about what your mentality is, what your mindset is,
what you got going on,
what personally. You got going on, things like that. They don't give a shit. They want your deadline. They need you to show up when they ask you to show up. They need you to be at the site visits, things like that. So there's no oh, hey, daughter's not feeling well. Can we push this showing back? Or can we do this? Or can I send my associate to cover for me?
Right.
No, right? There's not that. There's no day that she gets to go to a Reds game and things like that.
Yeah.
The office is going to a Reds game and all that stuff. So she goes through a lot. Any mom goes through a lot.
Yes.
So our struggles that we talk about on this show have nothing to do with, don't even compare.
Right.
With everything that goes in with her and what she's doing to grow and succeed as well.
Yeah, and actually you bring up a couple of really good points that I just want to hit. One was our sister-in-law, Emily, was like, we were asking for feedback about the podcast. She was like, you guys need to bring some moms on. And we're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, dude,
we're
sure.
bringing some girl moms, boy moms, all that. We
Yeah.
need moms on here, and so we will be doing that very soon.
We'll have a lot of High Noons, Rosé, Savi B on that, because I fully feel that's going to be just a shit talking, just time for the mom to let loose.
Yeah, let loose, man, let loose. But the other thing
and then I'm getting text from the husband's like, you asshole.
Yeah, like you asshole. All right, so this one's definitely going to have the checkbox of explicit material on it. Right. This is not for kids.
Yeah.
But the other point
feisty this morning.
The other point you brought up that is very important, and people find out or realize this a little bit too late, is being on the same page.
Yeah.
I think this is something that more couples that are getting ready to get married need to do as well.
Yeah.
If you're going to have kids, all right, not everyone's having kids, but if you are having kids, talk about what are the values you want to instill. How do you want to raise your kids? Who's going to be doing what from a roles and responsibilities standpoint? How are you going to balance out everything? What are the commitments you're all going to put into it, right? Because most people start to go through this after the 1 year reflection.
Right.
Because you're like, well, wait a minute. I don't want them to be seeing this stuff or doing this stuff. I don't want the screen in front of them. Or, I don't want to take them to daycare. Or I want them to have their culture embedded in them. All these conversations need to happen earlier. Yeah. So if you're someone that is thinking about having kids, you're pregnant, or even you're early on, have these conversations now. Right?
Yep. It's the hard conversations that have to be had about what's our vision going to be. What do we as parents want to be? How do we want to be? Do we want to, hunker down and not really go out and about and just focus on us and not expose? Or do we want to still continue our life and things like that? Because we still are spontaneous and get up and go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's also a negative to that. We get a lot of good feedback and comments, and people are like, oh, man, you guys do a lot. Like, we have been fortunate enough to go on trips, just us, early on as being parents, and then also with Vivisha. But I know friends and clients and parents that are, a couple years in and are just now able to go on a trip just for themselves and things like that. And that self-reflection, too, is like, are we doing too much? Are we too lucky? Are we too blessed? Are we showing off? It's like, and that's not our goal to do it.
Right.
We just want to.
You're not intentionally doing any of that.
Right.
It just
it's
may
just
come
like,
off that way.
Man, but I know we have it very fortunate and things like that. But and that's my mindset in every kind of experience that we have, is like, we are fortunate and blessed to do this, because not everybody gets to do it. Not a lot of people have both sets of parents here.
Exactly.
We had a lot of luxury and flexibility of pushing back daycare, doing it when we were mentally right and things like that. And so there are just a lot of different things that we have that, I don't know. Our conversation here at a 1 year point reflection could be a lot different if Vivisha and I did not have both sets of parents.
You're absolutely right.
Did not have her mom, because every mom needs their mom.
Yep. Right.
1,000%. 1,000%, no matter what. Every mom needs their mom.
Yeah.
Right? There is no other mom that will understand and go through and be there for than your own mom.
You're absolutely right.
Not your mother-in-law, not your sister, but,
right.
Your sister is you. Your sister's best friend.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
they're going to be like, cool, okay, let's go drink. Let's go hang out. Let's go shop. And, but your mom is like, yep, I got the dishes. I got the laundry.
Right. It's
I got
the real
baby.
stuff.
I got, it's like, takes a load off your shoulders, right? So,
and if the grandparents are healthy enough.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you have grandparents, but they can't even do much, that hurts you as well. Or and a lot of grandparents don't necessarily like kids either, right? So you're fortunate enough.
They're like, no, I did my time, homie.
I'm done. This on you.
Nah, I served my sentence
with you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, that's great reflection and great insight, man. Like,
so
nothing will prepare you. You just got to go into battle. And
I don't know if we've done it right. I think we've
well, I don't think there's a right.
Yeah,
I don't think
we've
there's
survived.
necessarily.
We've had our down moments for sure. We've had our fights. We've had our happy moments and things like that. But if there's things we could do better, I mean, more focus on us. You know, work has been crazy. Her work has been crazy. It's great. All blessings. Every high, every low are all blessings for us and different learning experiences, things like that. But there's things we can do better. You know, to focus on us, to make sure we're on the same page. And, you know, because there's postpartum, of course, and that's not, that's not weeks 1 to 3 of
no, it's not like a
parameter
or anything.
And there's postpartum for fathers, there's postpartum for mothers and things like that. So there's different reflection mentalities. It's crazy. It's all a blur. It's all a blur.
It is.
Right?
After 1 year,
like,
you're
how
like,
did we get here?
what all happened? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like,
it's going to get even blurrier.
Yeah.
And it's going to get even faster.
Yeah.
All right, time is going to fly, so spend that time. Capture those moments. She's not going to be 1 again. She ain't going to be 2 again. Right? So you got to enjoy that time. Because I'll tell you now, my son is about to be 10.
Yeah.
He's on that verge
Insane, dude.
of not wanting to hang out with us that much. Our time with him is almost up. And that sounds really sad and depressing. But even we just went to his carnival. And he ditched us for all his friends. It's me and my wife, Bria, are just walking around this carnival, hanging out, just us two. He doesn't even want to be around us. So just those first
crazy
10 years.
Ovi has been someone that's, been very attached to you guys.
Yeah, he's an only child, right?
Yeah, so that's crazy. That's,
so you know, you've got people to look up to in that, not up to, but more like have already gone through it. And then you've got the responsibility in some sense, not responsibility in a strict way, but to kind of offer some value and insights to the people that are about to join the journey. And that's what this podcast was meant to be. Listings and lullabies.
Right.
It's about sharing everything you're going through so that it can help other people.
Lean on each other, share, and have those hard conversations of what you're going through, what you're feeling, how we're handling this, what can you do better, what can you improve on, and things like that. It's like, not a job interview or review and things like that, but it's a big part of your life that you should be communicating and conversing with your spouse to discuss how are we doing. I want to have that conversation and continue to have those conversations with Visha and things like that. And I by no means at all am I saying that I'm doing it the right way or I'm having the right conversation. That's tough too. But Visha's scary. She's scary.
She can be scary.
When
she says Varun. It's like, oh shit. Everyone's backs are up like, all right,
man.
let's go.
Because it's like, because when she's had a long day and things like that and you're out coming home from work and things like that too. But there's also reflection. It's like, man, I just want to plop on the couch and things like that. I just want to chill. And, you want to encourage her to chill. But she's like, dude, get out of here. Like, there's no chilling. I got this. I still got emails. I got this and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, man, what she deals with and what all moms deal with are what we go through is peanuts compared to that.
That's true. So, that's great reflection. So to all the moms out there, we love you. We love you all.
Love you
it's
sure.
almost Mother's Day.
It's
Mother's Day almost. So, hey, episode 5 is to all the beautiful moms out there, all the dads that play moms, all the moms that have to play mom and dad, all the grandmas that have to play mom and dad and whatnot, grandpas. Just shout out to everyone out there doing their thing. So, that's a tribute to all of them. So, I wanted to switch gears to listing side of things because we had a great episode last time. But I do want to ask, so in episode 4 and episode 3, we talked about daycare. You know, you guys were teeing up to get ready for Ziana to go to daycare. You guys have started, I believe you guys have started taking her to daycare,
we started daycare, and it was different. We thought we were more ready. We were more ready this time around.
Okay, awesome.
And we thought the drop-off, how it played out in our heads, was not anything
like what happened.
What happened? It was so the owner was there of Goddard. We go to Goddard in Union, Kentucky, and she was there to welcome us, things like that. showed us around how we operate in terms of drop off, where we put the food and lunch and the timeline and instructions and things like that on how the Miss Vicky and Miss Catherine can function with Ziana throughout the day while also handling other kids.
Yep.
So we're like, okay, and we just kind of just nudge Ziana to go to Missy is the owner's name, and she just goes to her, and just we're like, okay, and she doesn't cry or anything like that, and then Missy's like, okay, go, and we just go,
and you're like, wow, that was it,
and we're like looking at each other, walking to our car, like, huh? That's how it happened?
You guys overthink a lot.
Yeah, we overthink it. We thought it was going to be so tough. She was going to be like just screaming and just like clawing at us and not wanting to go and things like that. So, yeah, it was different. It was different, but it came, it went, and we were anxious all day to kind of see how it was going.
Happened.
We called just to check in, and they said she was doing fine and things like that. But yeah, and we've picked her up. It's been a few weeks now, so
So wait, so that was day one.
That was day one.
So for anyone that has dropped their kids off to daycare, you probably know what's going to happen. So how was day two?
Yeah, day two there was tears.
Exactly.
What we had envisioned happened day two and kind of day three and things like that. But it was just it's what we had to do, right?
Yeah,
we feel sad, we feel hurt, and we understand it is all just it has to happen for her to be comfortable and for us to be comfortable.
Yeah,
right?
it has
it's
to
a
happen.
different scene for her. It's a different world for her and things like that. Last 10, 11 months, she's been, with people she's comfortable with. So she's been in a new space, in a new journey for her and things like that. So, but yeah, she kind of naps, she kind of eats, she adapts, and she kind of plays with the kids. She's kind of independent. She's been very independent, as you know, right? She's kind of does her own thing.
Yeah, she does.
Like that.
Yeah.
So that she gets that from Bavisha for sure. Because me, I'm like, yo, what we doing? I'd
FOMO.
be the
Varun's got the
ringleader.
most FOMO.
Yeah.
Besides maybe our cousin Sagar, he's got the most FOMO. Both of them are FOMO kings. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, she definitely gets that from Bavisha.
Yeah. She doesn't have FOMO. Like, what are you guys doing over there?
Has she started? Well, you just told us obviously early on that there's been an outbreak of some sort of some kids getting sick.
Yeah.
Has she gotten sick yet?
She's had a runny nose since day one.
Runny nose is going to happen for 1 year.
Yeah,
1 year, it ain't going away. All right?
I mean, runny nose and congestion, and I picked something up from her Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's
so
getting
I went
sick.
through it. So this past Saturday, we were out and about for a friend's birthday at 50 West, and we were actually going to come see you guys. And
you were.
Bavisha, we get in the car, and Ziana's just kind of losing her mind, just inconsolable. And we're like, shoot. So we wanted to come see you guys, all that stuff, because it's been a while since we all hung out and stuff. But we were just like, man. And we're doing better at making those right decisions because it just doesn't become fun for her, for us, for you guys, and things like that, where it's like we want you guys to play with her and enjoy a good time with her. But it's just, so we were just, we texted you all, and we were like, we're just going to roll.
No, and that's growth right there, like making the right decision for your family. So you said...
And Ziana and I passed out at 7 o'clock Saturday night. We were out. Yeah.
All that time you used to talk mad shit to all of us, leaving early, not kicking it till 1 a.m. Now,
I hope none of y'all kept any text threads or receipts because it's detrimental.
All the receipts coming back. All of them are coming back.
Like, you trash, bro. You don't want to go to Gala?
But for anyone that's about to go to take their kids to daycare or whatnot, that first year is going to be a lot of sickness.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of growth and adjustments. It's going to be a lot of emotional roller coasters.
Yeah.
But it's something, you're right. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah. There's, we have flexibility because of our work schedule, so we can kind of pick her up a little bit earlier than what most families can. And so that's been helpful a little bit to us, to the mental game of it and things like that. Because, Bavisha's at home and she's working and, she's missing Ziana and things like that. So, and we're getting adapted to how the operation of daycare is. Some advice and on that is you go through the initial orientation of when you're choosing your daycare, right? You get that insight, that information, and all that stuff. But I highly recommend having another orientation of how the day-to-day operation is.
Yes.
What we didn't realize when we went and dropped Ziana off is that we didn't realize that the main teachers,
Miss Vicky
and Miss Catherine, were actually on vacation.
Oh.
So we had substitute people. We didn't know that. We didn't realize that. So that maybe would have changed our mind of
like
when we started.
Maybe
right?
we wait till they come back.
So we didn't really get the full operation of, okay, here's the app, here's the check-ins and things like that. We send pictures at this time. Here's the sheets and all that.
Yeah.
It was kind of a little bit rushed because I understand why it is. It's like, don't hang around and then your child is there like, okay, cool, we're hanging out. And then all of a sudden it's like, peace, right? It needs to be kind of a a quick cut or a rip off of the Band-Aid or whatnot.
Yes, agreed.
Those are little pieces to kind of keep in the back of your mind, to have those extra couple minutes to talk to the owner outside of the room perhaps, and just go through, okay, what does our day-to-day look like here? What do you expect from us as parents, and what do we expect from you as the child care provider and things like that? Because there's still some questions we have or whatnot, and we weren't sure. It was like, wait a minute, is that the right way, and things like that. And thankfully, we do have we've gotten some good advice from some people that go to that daycare with us as well. So we've had that to lean on in terms of understanding.
That's great.
As well. So, but yeah, just there's some advice of, when you're choosing the daycare provider and things like that. We, a good friend of our, Rahul, he used to be in the daycare world and daycare space, so he gave some insight when we were choosing.
Okay,
and
awesome.
Then our friend and a client of mine, Ribley, she's her and her family own a couple Goddards in the Manhattan area.
Yep.
So I was able to have a good conversation with her about ins and outs and behind the scenes of things to ask and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But I definitely recommend, when you're doing that first day of drop-off, have that conversation of expectancies and things like that, day-to-day operations routine. And stuff like that, routines and all that, so you get, because they send out a curriculum of what they do and things like that. So, but you want to understand the boundaries of questions you can ask to them,
right?
Where it's not like, okay, are we being that super
that
needy
one
parent,
parent,
right? We don't be that one parent, but you also want to get an understanding of what's expected and what's comfortable for both parties involved and things like that.
Of course.
So that's some good. That's, I think, is good advice, or at least things you should know that may help those first initial days and stuff like that.
No, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for all that insight, Varun. I mean, hopefully this helps a lot of people out there who are on the fence, who are getting prepared and whatnot. That's a lot of good value, man.
Sure.
I really appreciate that. So, all right, that was a lot of lullabies. Let's, episode 4 was very heavy on the listing side, especially with the NAR settlement. NAR is the National Association of Realtors. And you've given us a great amount of information. Now, it is springtime.
Yeah.
So spring is when it becomes pretty crazy for you all, right? So tell us a little bit here, the greater Cincinnati area, what's some market updates going on? Any updates from last week that you want to share with us? What are you all seeing? What are some hot spots? Just drop it on us, man.
No, the market is still crazy. We are.
What are interest rates at right now? First of all,
we're kind of in the high 6s, low 7s, right? The rates in the last couple weeks kind of spiked up a little bit.
Okay.
I think it hasn't changed much since last year, but we are seeing the new norm in this new market, if that makes sense, because we're at a higher interest rate, but people still need homes. Life still happens, right? So we are full-fledged in the crazy market where we're seeing houses go 40, 50 above ask.
Wow.
Contingencies being waived in terms of appraisal, inspections, things like that. So both on my listings, we're getting into over ask, multiple offer situation, and for my buyers as well.
They're willing to hey, we'll give extra.
We're getting beat out. We're seeing things sell quickly in every price point too.
Really?
Right? It's the luxury price point. It's the average house price point. I think the latest stat is in the luxury price point above $1 million. There's been about a 9% increase year over year, and then in pricing, and in the more average market, 300,000 to 400,000, we're about a 4.6% price increase.
Wow. Almost double
in
the higher luxury stuff.
Right.
Wow.
The longer you wait, the more it affects you. And that is tough.
Wait, should we sell our house right now? Do we have leverage right now?
You've got leverage, but you've got to figure out what's your next step, right?
Sell
where
our
are
house,
you going to
then
go?
what do we do?
Yeah.
Because then we're going to be buying something that's over asking.
Don't you guys own a house in Dayton, Kentucky? No. We won't talk about that. I'm just kidding. But no, there are questions I get but then it's people ask me, is it a good time to buy or sell, right? And obviously, I am in the real estate world. I do benefit when people buy or sell, right? But I love to have the objective conversation, right? I want to have the unbiased conversation.
Yeah.
And I always ask the question back. It's like, well, what does a good time look for you, right? If you're a seller, yes, most likely your house will go into multiple offer situation. You will go above asking. You'll make some good money, right?
Yeah.
But as a buyer, does it make sense for you to do that?
Yeah.
Do you want to lose your most likely, I think it's like 80% of people have 3% or less in interest rates.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you want to leave that? Okay. But a lot of people do. Okay. So what does life look like for you right now? Did you just get married? Did you just relocate jobs? Did you, unfortunately go through a divorce? Are you expecting a child? Another child? Have you outgrown this townhome, this house of 3 bedrooms where you and your girlfriend bought, now fiance, now wife, now mother of your children, right? So has life changed for you, and is life changing? You can't avoid life, right? So that is
great information.
Yeah, that is a big part of that decision of, is it a good time to buy or sell, right? So then if you're renting, everywhere in Cincinnati, rent rates have gone up.
Like, when should people consider rent versus buy? Right?
Yeah, and you want to do the data search of, and that's something we can provide, or you can do on your own of, okay, what is my mortgage going to be, and what is my rent right now?
Okay.
Has my rent gone up, and, shoot, I can buy a house at this rate. And also, can you afford the cost of buying, which is closing costs, down payment, lending costs, things like that, which is what we talk about more in detail when we have our consultations with our clients to discuss, does it make sense? And some clients are like, no, it doesn't make sense. And that's totally fine. Yeah. I always highly recommend reach out to someone in the real estate world to have that conversation.
Okay.
Because like I said, I like to have a conversation. I'm not going to treat it like, well, only talk to me when you're ready to buy or sell. No, that's not.
Right. It's not just the transaction. It's the relationship beyond
correct.
it, right?
It's the relationship and the building of that relationship, because I'm not going to be rich off of one deal.
Yeah.
Right? I want to build a business and a relationship. And with that relationship comes business.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
It's correct. A partnership. And so I want to advise people to make the right decision, whether that is now and they're like, oh, you know what? I think we should sell. We've got a lot of equity that we can utilize to upgrade the purchase, and maybe we'll refinance a little bit later, but we need to upgrade our house right now, or we need to move because we're relocating and things like that. So, then we figure out that plan, or you know what, I appreciate you giving me, a comparative market analysis and understanding what my house will be, but I don't think I'm going to buy or sell right now, but, and I'll set you up on market updates so you can help see what your neighborhood is doing and what recent sales are and things like that. So you're better prepared when it's time to go. When it's time to make that move, and then we have an idea of which house you want to move into and what those areas look like, and I can set you up on updates as a buyer and things like that too. So there's different things that we can set and create for you, whether you're ready now or whether you're ready 6 months, 12 months, couple years, things like that, as maybe school becomes more important for you.
Yeah, that's a big one,
like
right?
That, because, some of the new dads and moms and things like that, school may not be important for you right now. Right? But in a couple years, all right, so let's start a plan. Where do we want to be? Do we want to be in Westchester, Lakota, Mason? Do we want to be in Northern Kentucky? Do we want to be in private? Do we want to be here in this area? Things like that, close to work, close to school, things like that, close to those life importance.
So if anyone out there just wants to ask questions or wants to talk to Varun about the purchase or selling of a home, he's a real estate partner, not an agent. All right. He's a partner of yours. You can reach him at varmarealtygroup.com. Excuse me. But definitely talk to these agents that are not just about the transaction. I think that's beautiful. And you share a ton of content and knowledge on your Instagram channels at Varma Realty Group. And it's great stuff, because just from there you can find out so much more, and you're so much more equipped to buy or sell a home.
Right.
Just right there. So I think kudos to you and kudos
exactly.
to a lot of people that
and we
are
try to
doing
make that separation in the content we put out there because for anyone to assume, and I agree with that assumption. It's like, oh, okay, this guy's just a real estate agent. Of course he's going to tell you to buy or sell. It's always a great time to buy or sell. Sure, yeah. I mean, it is sometimes because what's changed the game of real estate is that everyone has started to look at it as an investment. Right. And that has brought in investors, right, which has affected the pricing and the game of the market, right? Yeah. So that has changed it, but it's been beneficial to look at real estate as an investment, right? Yep. Especially in the last few years of the stock market and Bitcoin and everything else and all that stuff. So real estate is still solid, right? Real estate is still solid. Bitcoin is great. Yeah, if you got into it, cool. Kudos to you. If you got in the stock market and you know that game and things like that, great. But for me personally, I love real estate is because it's something that I can control.
Yeah,
right.
You can control.
It's
tangible.
It's not based on some CEO tweeting
or
something or bored and all that stuff. You don't have control of all that stuff. Yes, there's the long-term play, and that's way over my head. I don't do stocks. I don't know stocks and things like that. I got in when everyone was like, "Oh snap, let's go to the moon,"
and it came back
and I went right, and I was like, "Okay, that was a fun game, but let me stick to what I know. Let me stay in my lane." So that is the content I try to put out there, things that I know. So I understand if people are like, "Yeah, no, you're just pushing it because that's a benefit." And I'm not lying. I do benefit when people call me to buy or sell. Yeah, right. That feeds my family. But I understand, again, I'm not going to use you as a one-off commission and then you make the worst decision of your life. You're not going to call me. You're going to spread more bad words about me than the good ones, right? Right? Any bad experience anybody has, they will tell 20 people. Yeah. Any good experience, they may tell a couple people.
You're absolutely right.
Right? Because that's what you expect. Right. You expect to have a good experience. And that's what I want to provide. And I tell a lot of people during my consult is like, I haven't, when you're driving home to your house and you hate your house, who's the first person or thing you're going to think of? The guy that sold it to you.
The house, yeah.
Right? Whether it was me that influenced that decision or not, you're still going to find
it's going to always be top of mind.
And you're like, that jackass sold me this house, right? And you're going to tell everybody else about that, right? You're not going to.
Hopefully not. Hopefully humans have gotten a little bit better.
And what I tell my clients is I haven't had that happen yet, and I don't plan to start with you, right? My goal is to relationship build, and that's what I've been very successful at.
And I think
I have a lot of friends that have been clients. Shown. You know, close friends of ours that I literally met, Carly and Brad. You've met Carly and Brad. Yep. Sad, they moved to Florida. They're great friends of ours. I just helped sell their home. We strategized. We marketed it right. We got multiple offers. We went over ask. We're closing in a couple weeks. Wow. And, but I've built that relationship with them. And want to know how that relationship came about? BNI, networking group that I'm part of.
Wow, through BNI.
Carly came as a visitor. She was with California Closets. She's a gangster designer with them. And she came and we visited, and she and her husband were considering selling and upgrading and things like that. This was 2019, 2020-ish. And, so I came over and we had a meeting. And it made sense for them to sell, and they wanted to sell, and they wanted to get a bigger house and things like that. And we became friends. We built our relationship. And so I helped them sell, I helped them buy, and now I help them sell again. So that is the relationship that I appreciate and I enjoy.
Yep.
Visha's like, dude, how many friends you need, bro?
Relationships.
But it's relationship. It's what I love about real estate. The first part of real estate is real relationships, right? So that's how I view it. That's how I view it, and that's what I enjoy.
And that's a great mindset, right? Man. Yeah. That is a great way to look at it. Man, and so, realtors have had a bad rep for a little while, and I think now it's coming back as partnerships, and it's thankful for people like you that are changing it.
Yeah, and I'm not the only one that does
better,
right? There's a lot of good of my colleagues and associates that I surround myself with, and we all have the same goals, right? Yeah. We're not that, type of real estate agent that has been in years past or whatnot, and there still are some of those people in our industry, in every industry. But like I spoke about last episode, there's better transparency, right? There's more transparency. There's better understanding because I want the other side of the table to feel comfortable and be able to ask certain questions. Just like you want to know when you're walking into your dentist office or your doctor's office, you want to know what questions you are able to ask, can ask, and have a full transparency. Just in daycare, right? How do I know what to ask? Can I ask this? Am I being too picky? Am I being too needy? And things like that. Because clients will text me like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you on an evening or a Sunday or whatnot. Some clients do. And I'm like, no, that is my role to help you when it's convenient for you, right? We need to see your house. But yeah, we're not going to see it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when you're working because, hey, you have a job. If you didn't have a job, you wouldn't be affording this house,
wouldn't be able to do it,
It's a full cycle, right? It's all connected to the ecosystem and things like
connected.
that. So yeah, it's relationship building. It's guidance and advice, and that's the content. And obviously, circling back to where we started, is it a good time to buy or sell? That's subjective to your needs, and I want to help you figure out what your needs are versus your wants. And is there a right time, or is it a time to wait to make the better decision down the road? And I'll be here every step of the way, whether that's now or whether that's later. Yeah, so
that's awesome, man. Varma Realty Group, and you've helped me sell multiple homes. You've helped my family sell multiple homes, and I can't thank you enough because it wasn't about, hey, it's a transaction. It was always about, well, is this right for you?
Yeah.
And then you start to like, wait, is this right for me?
Right.
And then you start asking all those questions, have those conversations between you and your wife or partner. Yeah. And there you go. So no, that's awesome, man. Yeah. That is awesome. So springtime. Moving on to springtime. Now we got Reds are looking all right. I think we're in third place.
Yeah,
or so.
yeah, third place.
Right? And draft, NFL draft
party. Draft party tonight.
What are you thinking about the draft? What do you think Bengals are going to do, man? What do you think?
I'm thinking we trade T. Higgins for Justin Jefferson, even swap. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, T. Love you, Trey Hendrickson. He wanted to trade, but he signed an extension. But I get it, right? These players want to take care of their families and things like that. He's got a contract extension through 2025.
But he knows he can't get much more, right, because of the cap. So that's why I think he's being proactive. And again, he's got to watch out for what's right for him and his family.
Exactly.
He ain't here to please all of us fans, right?
Yeah,
he's got to still put food on the table.
So you can't be mad at it, but hopefully front office makes a good decision because our front office is known for making poor decisions. Carson Palmer had a bad breakup with us, and he left, and things like that. And there's been history has shown that we've had some, we have not maybe made the right choices and decisions and things like that. And we won't get into the elephant in the room, which is Mike Brown. But I think the front office is changing, and I hope they make the right decisions going forward because we've got a lot of big decisions, both in the draft. Is Trey Hendrickson going to be gone? So now do we have to draft a defensive tackle now versus maybe a lineman, a tight end?
Yeah.
If we draft another cornerback from Michigan, I'm going to be heated tonight, dude. We're good I feel that we're good in the defensive back space.
Yeah, I think now, especially with some of the moves we made.
Yeah, we got to tighten up the defense. Our defense got torched last year, which we knew by losing Jesse Bates, the GOAT, and Von Bell.
We were
we knew we were going to get torched, right?
Yep.
But we thought, all right, we got Joey B. If we give up 50, we score 60, no problem.
Exactly.
Right, but he didn't have a calf or a right hand, so you need those to be a quarterback.
Those to be a good quarterback.
Jake the Snake just signed, so we got him. So
2-year deal?
Joey B, come back maybe mid season. Full
just give us that last.
And we'll just dual threat quarterback it up.
Yes. Varun for head coach, y'all.
I'm curious if any Bengals see this. They're like, this guy's a clown, man. Revoke his season tickets.
Oh man, but no, it's awesome. I'm excited for it. We're gonna watch it.
I'm pumped.
But oh man,
I like how they set it up. One full night of a first round, which obviously I get the NFL making more money as much as they can.
Oh,
right?
what they're doing,
making a big primetime thing because it used to be just on a Saturday afternoon, just knock it all out. Now it's a full weekend.
Now it's a full weekend.
Now they do it in different cities. It's a festival, and it's like. Yeah,
well, let's go Bengals, Houday. Let's hope.
Houday, go Reds, go FC, go
FC Cincinnati.
Cyclones still playing? Season done?
I think they're done.
Yeah.
I think their season's over, right? I think. But everything Cincinnati 5-1-3, baby. So we represent.
Yeah.
Anything else, man? These episodes just keep getting longer and longer, which is great.
Yeah, what are we at?
Which is great. We're at 45 minutes almost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm late. 10:30 call?
I'm late for all my meetings. Humanize my team. I love you. I'm sorry. Just had to do this.
Yeah.
But no, man, thank you so much for all this amazing insights on this episode, episode 5. Now we'll start looking at the stats. All right, now we'll start looking at the analytics. We'll start seeing how we doing on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, how we doing on our YouTube, website, Buzzsprout, all of that fun stuff. We'll start checking it out, and we'll share some of this data with y'all. I know a lot of people are out there looking for podcast production, so maybe we can be your partners and whatnot. So, no, man,
Absolutely.
well, thank you so much. Anything else you want to leave everyone behind with?
No, man. Love life. Love everything, man. Love the world,
everything.
dude. Like,
love everything.
Just be happy, be positive. You know, world out there is crazy right now. It always will be. But I think who you surround yourself with,
There you go. Boom.
positive mentality of that, and, you know, take care of you. Take care of you.
Because only if you take care of you can you take care of anybody else.
Yep.
All right. So,
Absolutely.
one love, everybody.
Love y'all.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Varun,
it. Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thank you for listening to Listings and Lullabies, A Girl Dad's Journey with Varun Varma, episode 5.
me hanging
Don't
there.
forget you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Alexa Podcasts, all of the streaming podcast platforms. Our videos will be on YouTube and on our website at girldadspodcast.com. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at girldads.podcast. And, thank you for all the love and support, everybody. Woo!
See you in the next one. Thank you.
Yep.